Minutes.
20 minutes after the verdict, Jodi gives an interview to a local TV station where she says, "I don't want to live, kill me," and some other controversial things. Listen to this from KSAZ.
If we had been able to avoid trial, we could have avoided just the murkier aspects of his life that he kept hidden. And these aren't just things that came from my mouth. They're his own words, his own emails, his own text messages, the activities that he was up to, photographs that show that as well. None of that ever would have come to light. It would have just been forgotten, and he would be memorialized as not perfect by any means, but somebody who was known to adhere to his morals and the principles that he espoused. But now the curtain has been drawn, and you can see the hypocrisy and everything that was there, and I regret that because I know that even though he was living the life of a hypocrite, that's not how he wanted to be perceived, and I think inside he really didn't want to live that kind of life.
Susan Constantine, is this the most self-destructive defendant you have ever heard? The idea of not only not showing remorse, but literally taking another jab at the man she stabbed 29 times, whose throat she slit, who she shot in the face, taking another jab at her, at Travis Alexander, right when she's on the eve of having to try to argue to save her life, along with saying, "I don't want to save my life."
You know, the first thing that comes to my mind is, first of all, theatrical. Second of all is self-serving. The third thing is deceptive. This is all about Jodi Arias. I. And you know, here's the thing. If she really felt that way, it would move each one of us to feel the emotion of defeat, loss, sadness. And I want to ask you, Jane, did she move you to feel that way? Because if she didn't move you to feel that way, or any of us, all of us, it wasn't authentic. It was all a lie, a theatrical play on sympathy for herself.
Listen, I have tried to keep myself out of this, but since you asked, I think she is completely disconnected from reality. I think she is living her life as if it is a movie, and that's why she is capable of heinous acts. And I think that the defense is in a very tricky situation right now, and essentially they are in the position of arguing to save the life of a woman who doesn't want her life saved. And I think the only thing that they can really do right now is say she's mentally ill. She's mentally ill. And so I want to debate that with our expert panel, starting with, and I'll start with the defense attorney, Janet Johnson. Should the defense come in, and maybe that's what they were doing in this closed-door emergency hearing, and say, look, we can't control her. She's giving TV interviews. She's on suicide watch. She's out of her mind. We want her to be evaluated in a last-ditch effort to save her life.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else,
Janet.
I think, yeah, they want to separate themselves from what she did last night unless they knew she was going to do it. And we don't know for sure. But if they didn't know she was going to do it, or if they tried to stop her and she did it anyway, I would go into chambers just like they did today, and I would say, Judge, we told her not to do it. She did it anyway, and we need you to inquire that she understands that she's walking herself to the death chamber, and we don't want to be involved in that.
Stacey Honowitz.
Yeah, well, they absolutely can't. I mean, as defense lawyers on this case, they are between a rock and a hard place. They are going against the advice that they are giving her. She does not want to take. She's doing everything on her own. And some lawyers might say, boy, maybe they should try to withdraw off this case because she's not listening to anything they have to say. I think the only thing they can do is try to figure out why she's not listening, if there's some mental instability, but they have to bring it to the court's attention. I think she might not have come out of her cell. I mean, there could be a myriad of reasons. She might not have wanted to meet with them today to talk to her. So defense attorneys are really in a very precarious position. They had to bring it to the court's attention, and that's why it got reset, I'm sure.
All right. Let me